I'm Trent Peterson.
I'm Andrew Peterson.
I'm Landon Peterson. So, this is an update from the castle we did last year. It's mostly the same. The landscape has expanded, and if you can see, there's a massive siege going on. And so, I'll start on this end. We've got some of the knights jumping off this boat, and they're charging through this line of skeletons here. We pick skeletons to be the enemies, and they stick out pretty well, and you can do some fun things, break them apart, and they're all, like that.
It's also very easy to tell who the good guys and bad guys are, because the skeletons are never the good guys.
Right, it's really easy to tell there. Here you can see that they've busted through the gate, and they've thrown the guy off with the battering ram. They don't need it anymore. They're charging through. And if you can get a shot of the inside, you can see a bunch of pikemen ready to defend, and one of them's got one skewered on there. So, yeah, we just got some more archers and guys marching this way. We have this small house here is somehow unscathed from all this, the archer behind it. We got some siege ladders, some guys trying to pole vault over the walls. This ladder didn't make it, and this alligator's about to eat some skeletons.
That's an excellent use of the flex tube there for the pole vaulting.
Right, yeah, that was actually Trent's idea, I think. And we have this area here where they've like entrenched themselves. They got catapults, and they're guys planning out stuff. And you can see where they've hit like the tower. That's kind of slanting over. And one guy's scared, and one guy's pretty happy about it. There's also here we've got two of the gold knights. They're like the heavy, really powerful knights, and they're standing on the bridge fending off this force going in. So yeah, we got some skeleton horses and pikemen that are trying to fend off this massive wave of horseback knights coming in, which probably won't go too well. But over here we have a trebuchet, which is they're launching these flaming boulders in the castle. You can see in there where they've hit the house and it's on fire. And there's a section here where they've taken out a wall and the guy's fallen off. And then, let's see.
The trebuchet is a very nice detail here. Does it actually function if you try to use it?
It looks like it would function, but if you push this down, it would swing a rock and probably hit this guy, and that would be a shame. We've got a wizard here who's kind of commanding all the skeletons. He's like brought them back from the dead or something, and they're all charging in. So yeah, over here, this has been relatively untouched. We just got some, farming. There's corn, nothing interesting there. There's a few guys from the back trying to climb up the side. This guy's fighting them off.
Farmers have had to take up arms here.
Right, yeah. And there's a couple on the beach here, just they don't really want to fight. They're just drinking and having a good time. And then you see this like ninja skeleton climbing at the back, hopefully getting in where no one will suspect. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, I love all that added detail then. So it's great to see what you guys have done, making the whole siege and adding the more action-packed battle going on here.
Right, yeah, I did most of the setting up of the minifigs. It was a lot of fun to do, and just trying to give it like a motion to it to where you can see where all the movement is. Kind of like if you unpaused it, you could tell what was going to happen next. Mm-hmm. So,
want to launch into the interior then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll take that over. So we'll first start with our armory. You can see we have a little catapult on top of here. And if you notice, they've been trying to take out the trebuchet, and they've hit a couple skeletons, but they've unfortunately missed the trebuchet, so they're still working on that. There's also a cool little crane here, and a group of peasants that are bringing up munitions for the trebuchet, or the catapult, rather. And you can see when we remove the roof, we have the first level of the armory. It's all the archery weapons, which makes sense since you're actually up on the wall. The second level of the armory is all the pole arms. And you can notice that a lot of them are missing because they're actually being fielded right now. Inside our Great Hall, there's a lot of peasants that are being armed too that are conscripted into fighting. So
all hands on deck right now because the skeletons, as you can tell, have broken through, so it's getting intense.
It doesn't look very good. We wanted it to be kind of ambiguous to who is going to win this thing. Next, we have our blacksmith. They're kind of just busy away, keep making weapons even though there's a battle going on. I'm going to continue just taking off different sections here and handing them off to my brothers. We've got ourselves a pole turner. That's a little foot-driven lathe, so a guy makes all your spears.
There you go. You've got everybody in here.
And they're all hard at work, too. Okay. Like you said, there's a better shot of the house that's on fire, and you can kind of see the bucket brigade that's going on from the peasants from the well because they're trying to put out the fire because fire's not really that great. There's a shot of the wagon with all the munitions for the catapult. Okay. And you can see we still have a lot of our vendor stalls in there, but they're kind of abandoned. You can see all the peasants and people running away, although the one lady's running towards there. Maybe she's quite brave and she wants to actually fight the skeletons. Okay.
I love the fire effects there on that house and the destruction.
Yeah, it was actually kind of a lot of fun to sort of destroy Lego for once instead of build it. And let me get this last bakery, and then I'll turn you over to Andrew for the gatehouses. Yeah, just a little bakery, so you can get you some pies and croissants and things.
Here you go.
And we'll let Andrew describe our gatehouse there.
Okay. Come around here to the front then.
Yep. So this is our main gatehouse. We have a functioning drawbridge and portcullis. So if you want to get a shot right there, this portcullis, it'll open up like so. And then whenever the enemies start coming in, you can drop it.
Perfect. There you go.
So this gatehouse also, as everything else in here, it does come apart. And so we've got the top piece comes out. So you can see into the inside, we've got our winch system inside there. All our, drop the portcullis and drawbridge. And then each of these sides come off. And we've got more troops rallying inside there, getting ready for weapons and everything. You can see the rest of the gear system inside there. And then, of course, there's one more layer. And you can see we've got crossbowmen, and there's little shooter ports to shoot if anyone's coming in up to the gate.
Perfect. Yeah, this is incredible. The level of detail you guys always put in this. It's coming back to me from last year now. Like how much you put into this. It's just so insane. I love seeing all this come apart.
So the next thing we'll go to are our stables. And the first thing you'll see, this is a tower where we had the hit. And you can see we still have stuff in there. Stuff's been knocked over, took the catapult hit. But then the next thing we have these stables. And I want to show you a view inside this way first. So this comes off. And you can see inside kind of the horses. You got the little loft up there with a bunch of stuff there. But then this also comes off. And you can get a better view inside there. And of course, not all the horses are there because they're trying to saddle them up and get the troops out and moving. We even got a guy down here. That hatch leads to our underground. He's moving down to reposition somewhere else in the castle. We have our second gatehouse here, and this has been significantly more upgraded. The portcullis does function, except that right now it's kind of destroyed. They've busted through, and on the other side you can see the piece of it that fell off. But similar to the other gatehouse, this also does completely come apart. So again, it's very similar to the other one. We'll just kind of do this pretty quickly. I'll go and pull it off. And you can see over there the skeleton, the kind of first victim that fell to the pipe.
The money shot right there.
Yep. But yeah, this is just very similar stuff you saw in the other place. So our last building here on the corner, we have our church, and so you can see we've got a nice stained glass window there.
Yeah, that's incredible.
We've got our bell tower up top, but then inside of it, we've still got a bunch of peasants in there praying, hoping the battle goes well this time. Just when all else fails, pray, right? We've got a little organ in the back here, little priest quarters back here. And then on the back side of it, we have a little garden. Little, fenced in, gated in garden. Little statue, water fountain feature.
Mm-hmm. They don't look particularly concerned about the horde of skeletons coming through the...
Some people didn't quite get the memo. Here you can see these are the skeletons that broke through. You can see the piece of the portcullis on this one. And then on here, we've got our yellow building here. Open that up. We have our tinsmith inside here.
Okay.
Still working away, doing what he can. Let's see. The last building we've got inside this castle is our inn, and it's we have an inn with rooms upstairs. So we got a couple bedrooms up here, and then we have a kind of a pub downstairs. And I guess if you're not praying the battle away, you drink it away. So
One way or another, I guess.
one way or another. Yep. So I guess next I'm going to send you to Trent to take a look at the keep.
Okay, great. We'll walk back to this side then.
Sorry, it's a cumbersome mock here. It's quite big. So this is the top of the keep. You notice the guys aren't particularly worried yet because the skeletons haven't made their way up here. We have kind of a nice relaxing room, kind of like a smoke room. Maybe you bring your ambassador there from another country or castle. Maybe not go to war. That obviously did not happen today. The floor below that is sort of the royal chambers. You can see we've got all of the different rooms, king's quarters, prince and princess. You notice the king is out kind of surveying the battle from a safe position. We also have a little monk's area for the library, and there's actually a secret entrance behind this wall that can move, which is pretty cool. Pass this on down. The next layer has my favorite room in the entire build. It's the war room that has a micro-scale version of the castle.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
So you can see the old general and a couple of his other soldiers are kind of planning the battle. Connected to that is the map maker room. And there's also a throne room, which people are arguing about. Maybe, why is the king just standing up there? Why isn't he out there fighting? Or we don't know what to do. What's going to happen? So let's see here. Toss off another layer here. So the sides of the Great Hall, just kind of a guards area. We also have a Black Falcon ambassador room. So we're actually allied with the Black Falcons in our fantasy because we're fighting the evil skeletons. So it's humans versus evil.
Everybody has to get on board here.
There's also a cool little band that's up at the top that's kind of playing music right now for all the people in the Great Hall to try to keep them calm during this very scary time. And then lastly, we have the Great Hall, which normally there's a big feast going on inside there. However, it's been transformed into sort of the headquarters for the battle. And so there's a triage going on in there, and there's also the arming of the peasants. So we can remove this wall so we can kind of get the minifigure view if you were walking through those doors. And then if I can get Landon to help me out take the chandelier off, you can kind of get a better view of what's going on. You can see we have some wounded. You see the peasants are all being conscripted and all hands on deck, like you said. And we have our stained glass lion in the back.
That stained glass is beautiful, yeah. You achieve so much with that.
So now you can see that the underground is fully revealed. We've got kind of the kitchen area. There's sort of a preparation of food, perishable goods. There's a brewery and an area to store all the extra wine. We've got guards' quarters. They're taking rest right now. Barracks next to that. We've got a really cool archives room with all the books. There's sort of a statues room for all conquests of different armies. If you notice in the middle there, we've got an alchemist who's doing sort of potion work and who knows what. Maybe he caused this today. We're not sure. And maybe we can swing around to the other side really quickly here. And you can see we've got a foundry right here. Next to that is a treasury. There's a little tax collector's office in there. Another barracks. And then there's a servant's quarters. And lastly, in the back, you can see the crypt, which is under a church. And you might notice that all the things that are supposed to be dead are not dead. They've also been summoned during the battle. So
Something's going wrong.
There's a few guards there going, uh-oh, and they're trying to fight those guys off too. And I'm going to turn you over to Andrew really quickly for the port.
Okay.
So we just got a couple quick things here. So our port towers, we got large ballista on there to protect the port, take out any ships coming in. But each one of these come off, and inside this one, you've got ammunition inside here for the ballista. The guy can send up through this little hatch here, and then underneath it, the next layer, we have a large winch system for this chain. So you can normally you'd have that sunk in the water, but whenever you want to block the port off, you pull it tight. No boats can get through. The other tower is very similar, and it has basically the same thing inside of it. So I just can't quite reach it here.
No, but the port's a great extra kind of added detail, and that chain is always a cool effect as well. So yeah, that's crazy. You guys brought the whole thing back here and you added onto it. So is there plans then to expand again next year and future years?
Oh yeah, we're gonna keep doing this for a while. We've already been talking about our plans for next year and after that. So we'll keep doing this.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for taking us through the whole thing. I like the teamwork of you guys taking off the floors and everything and working through it all. So it's always impressive to see what happens here. And I can't wait to come back next year and see what you guys have added. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.